This is Toytony, and I'm hanging out at Retropalooza, and we've had a great time again this year. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
For all the toys I've loved before. Well, someone had asked where Toytony and I met. And Toytony and I actually met at the George R. Brown Convention Center when they had Elvira there. And this was the infamous, back in the 90s convention that anybody you actually ask can tell you. This was a horrible convention. They charged for parking. They charged the dealers for parking.
It was actually the beginning of a Comic-Con, don't you think? I think.
It was very early in that.
I think it's what we have now. They tried way back then, and people weren't ready for it. I mean, really, it was too much money for everything.
Elvira was an unbelievable guest. She was outstanding, but they basically made the dealers pay for her.
Exactly.
Is what happened.
Her signature was free, and anyway.
They limited to 3 per trip.
3? Was it 3 per trip?
3 per trip. So
Stephen lined up 4 times so he could get a calendar signed.
That's your brother-in-law,
on
right?
all 12 months. Yes, my brother-in-law lined up and got every month of an Elvira calendar signed.
What year was that?
It was in the 90s.
26 years ago.
93.
I have more than just Foxy. I have all of them.
We were at this convention, and our mutual friend, the great Doug Hazelwood, who was one of the inkers for the Superman comics and Animal Man and things like that, had gone off and invited us to come to this show and sell stuff with him. And so literally, Doug was in between us.
Yes.
And
that was the show where I took Zane and Steven.
Right. And so Marvel Comics had shown up with a real Spider-Man. And at the time, if you got his autograph, and I thought it'd be cool to get Spider-Man's autograph, so I got Spider-Man's autograph, and you look at the autograph and it says, "To Bill, Spider-Man." And it was like, and it was just funny, how else is the guy going to sign it? You know, it was Spider-Man. So we met the real Spider-Man, apparently.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Well, before he became popular with all the movies.
And he would give you a Spider-Man pin.
Yeah, before he became a movie star, and he made all those movies. But back then, he was just a comic book star.
Yeah.
First impressions.
I knew he was on welfare.
He was a sorry sack of crap.
Yep. We had
But that was the infamous Outer Limits game. I had bought an Outer Limits game at a garage sale for $1, and it was like from the '60s, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And I wasn't going to do anything with it, and that's when Mom said, "You're not going to make any money at this show." So I took this Outer Limits game to the show. And I did not know how much it was worth, so I kept asking people, and they would not tell me how much it was worth, right? They was like, I don't know, I've never seen one. So this guy walks in my booth, and he goes, "Hey, how much for the Outer Limits game?" And I go, crud, I really don't want to sell it, so I'm going to say something high. I'd paid $1 for it, remind you. I paid $1 the day before at a garage sale. So I told him $75. And he goes, "Well, can I look at it?" And he looked at it and looked at all the pieces and put the lid back on and got the money out. And he handed me $75. And I was going, oh, to me, I was like, oh, thank you. And I'm going, damn, he's buying it. And he goes, "Hey, can you take a picture will you hold the Outer Limits game and let me take a picture of it with it?" And I started thinking, okay. And he took a picture and he left. And I started thinking, man, I want to be on the cover of the newspaper tomorrow. A stupid idiot sells rare game. And sure enough, as soon as the game was gone, all these people started walking around, "Hey, where'd you do that Outer Limits game?" And I go, "I sold it." "Oh man, that's like one of the rarest games. It's worth $200 or $300." And I said, "I just asked you how much it was." And they said, "Hey,
nobody knew.
We figured if you don't know how much it was, then we weren't going to tell you. We were going to try to get it off you." So these are my friends. They all kind of did not tell me.
So why did he take a picture of you?
I don't know why.
To show all his friends a Dumbo mistake. Hey, look at this fool.
Because this was in the age of not digital phones, so he had to develop that picture to show people how much of an idiot you were.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, he put a lot of effort into making sure that everybody.
A lot of effort
goes,
into.
Check it out, man. This is the guy I bought my Outer Limits game from. And I got home and I was all upset. Sharon was going, "What's wrong with you?" I go, "Man, I sold my Outer Limits game for $75. And she goes, "Didn't you pay $1 for it?" "Yeah, but I don't have it anymore." And It became an obsession of mine until I found somebody and I was able to trade them and get another one. So I have one that's better than the one I had, but it didn't cost me $1. But it didn't cost me.
I feel like a lot of things happened at that show. Like Zane got kissed by Elvira too.
Yes, Zane.
Yes.
That was Zane's first kiss.
Yes.
On the lip.
Anyway, when we were packing up, I was talking to Doug Van Hoosier, his buddy, and he was really wanting to get rid of his comic books and all that. And I said, well, I'll buy them all from you. So I offered to buy them, and Grover and Doug came to my house after the show. They drove to my house. And mind you, I thought they weren't coming because it took forever. Because Grover was he said he was going around the block saying, man, dude.
We can't find this guy. We can't find this guy because I would end up with the comics for nothing.
He was going. He wanted the books, and he was kind of upset that Doug was selling them to me. But they showed up.
We can't find this guy. Yeah,
they showed up, and they realized that I wasn't a sorry sack of crap. And I figured he wasn't a sorry, and so we became friends.
Now, mind you, every time we drove by, Tony is out in the front yard going, and I'm going, I think he's on this side of the road.
Yes, we drove by like 2 or 3 times. And I think that same year, Grover even baked me an R2D2 cake for my
What?
birthday. Yes, we have a picture.
True friendship is someone baking you an R2D2 cake.
Put all the icing on
This
it.
is what true friendship looks like.
Doug